Is there a reading system that you use? How do you recommend reading through long books like Anglican Dogmatics? Yeah, this is a good question. I do have a bit of a reading system. It's not super well defined, nor do I stick to it as well as I probably should. But it basically goes like this: if there's a book, like a dogmatics text, I never read it start to finish, ever. I've never read a dogmatics text or a more resource oriented text front to back, ever. And I don't plan to. I don't think that's the intention of the book. I don't think that's how it's going to be used or how it should be used. Anglican Dogmatics, I have used it as a resource and I've read it as it relates to the things that I'm thinking about. So if I'm thinking about ecclesiology and wanting to know more about that, I will read and I will set aside time to read that section and to take notes on that section. If I want to read on sacraments, I will go to that section. I will read on that. I'll take notes on that section. But I usually read those kind of books um, on a case by case basis based upon what I'm particularly focused on, whether it's for a writing project that I'm doing, a video project, or even just preparation for sermons and pure curiosity and interest. And I think those books tend to be read best that way because if you just are reading it straight through, you're probably going to be bogged down by the information. You're not going to make it to the end, and it's overall not going to be useful. I think we should read those books when our interest is most piqued and in a way that we're reading the things that pertain to that particular interest or that thing that we really want to know. Because that's when we're going to actually remember it and be able to use that information again in the future. Um, so that's the way I read those books. Other books that are more front to back books, I usually just try to say, okay, morning and evening, where do I have the most time that I can spend? And then I take 30 minutes, an hour, whatever time I have, and I just try to set away all distractions and just devote myself to reading. And again, this is not always attainable. I don't always do this. I don't always have the time to read as much as I would like to. But I do find that setting aside intentional time for reading and then committing yourself to doing it without any distractions. So a lot of times what I'll do is I will pack a book when I go to teach, and I will try to spend at least 30 minutes during one of my breaks during the day to read. I'll annotate, I'll take notes, I'll close it, I'll move on with the day. And then in the evening, before I go to bed, I'll pray compline, and then I'll read a little bit more and then go to sleep. That's kind of my reading schedule, and I try to have two books going at once. Usually, one that's a little bit more theologically dense, or just mentally dense, mentally difficult to engage in, and that's usually the one I read during the day. And then the one that I read before bed is usually something a little bit more imaginative, whether that be a fictional text or a poetic text. That tends to be the time that I do that as well. And I have a little bit of a system for trying to remember things better because we live in a day and age where we're scrolling so much on our phones that our brains are basically just fried potatoes. We don't have any memory, and so like we read and then we're like, I don't know what the hell I just read. I can't remember it. It's like I don't want that. So I watched a YouTube video way back in the day. I'm not sure what it was called. I can't even remember, but basically you have a note card. You can even see I've got on this side these note cards right here. And basically I just take note cards, and if I want to remember something, I will write down like a title of what it is I want to remember. I write down a brief description of it, and then I draw a picture. And the video basically said that there's scientific studies that have shown that when you draw a picture of something, that visual element helps you to retain the information better than just simply writing it down. And so I found that that's a very helpful system to remember what I'm reading as I'm reading it. So if I find like, oh man, that point is really really profound, or man, that quote is amazing, I'll write it down and then I'll draw a little picture, and it sticks right in your mind. Um, so yeah, that's my system. I try to find time during the day, just a little bit, time in the evening, just a little bit, and read consistently twice a day, every day, and then resource books like dogmatic texts, case by case basis, as my interest dictates.